Good morning, students. Good morning to all. Last week fully we have enjoyed, I think, right? Okay, have you remember what we have studied on the last day? So last day we have studied that dissolution of partnership. Have you remember? Okay, just we will remind about the dissolution of partnership. After that, we will go to the next concept. Okay. The dissolution of partnership. The dissolution of partnership is different from the dissolution of partnership firm. It is due to the fact that when the relation present between all partners comes to an end. So the dissolution of partner mean the single person only will leave from the organizations. Okay, if any of the partners want to leave from the partnership organization, he can go. This situation is called dissolution of partner. As a single partner is leaving from the business organization is called dissolution of partner. The dissolution of partnership organization mean the determination of the original partnership agreement. Okay, so the partnership agreement totally will come to an end. A partnership is dissolved by insolvency, retirement, the expiry of completion of the term of partnership. The business will continue after dissolution of partnership also. So the dissolution of partnership will come to an end after over the partnership agreement. Okay, but the dissolution of partner, in this dissolution of partner, the partnership organizations will not come to an end. As a single person only will leave from the organizations. Okay, but after leaving the partner, otherwise in this dissolution of partner, the partnership organization will continue in future. But in this dissolution of partnership, so the partnership organizations will not continue because all the partners will come to an end of the agreement. Okay. Next, dissolution of partnership can take place in two ways. In whatever ways, so the dissolution of partner will come to an end mean. First, by agreement or mutual consent. Okay, by the way of making the agreement or the mutual consent of all the partners, the dissolution of partnership will come to an end. A firm may be dissolved when all the partners agree to close the affairs of all the firm. Okay, so when we have started the partnership organizations, we have made some of the agreement, right? So in this agreement or the decided task is come to an end. So on the way of the agreement, so the partnership organization will come to an end. Just as partnership is created by contract only, so it can also be terminated by the contract. Okay, suppose if the contract valid date is come to an end, so the partnership organization also will be come to an end. Next, by insolvency of all the partner but one. If any of the partners adjusted and insolvent, it is necessary to dissolve the firm. Suppose if any of the partner, suppose it may be the active partner, is became as a insolvency. Insolvency means suppose the persons are not able to continue the organization. Otherwise, if the persons are affected by the lunacy or any of the mental affairs. Okay, so if we are doing like so, the partnership organizations will come to an end because with the absence of the active partner, if other partners are not able to continue the business organizations, so automatically it will come to an end because other partners will dissolve the partnership organizations. Next, when the objective becomes illegal, so when we are started the organization, so many of the partners didn't know about the objective. So after sometimes in course of time, if any of the persons come to know about the objective of the business firm, it is illegal mean all other partners may require the other partners to dissolve the organization. When the business carried on by the partnership becomes illegal, the partnership firm is automatically dissolved. Okay, because sometimes so the third parties also will make the illegal activity on the partnership organizations. Otherwise, any one of the partnership, any one of the partner among the partnership also can make the suit to the court. Okay, so in this way, by the court or by the way of individual partners also can make to dissolve the organizations. Next, by notice of dissolution. So in case of partnership at will, when any partner gives in writing to all the other partners indicating his intention to dissolve the firm will be dissolved. Okay, so on the basis of the agreement, when we are giving the prior notice to the other partners about dissolving the partners, so other partners must be obeyed to the notice of given the notice of the any single partner. Okay, so by providing the notice of dissolution to the other partners, so all other partners also can take the action to dissolve. Okay, so in this time, if you have to note another one things, if other partners are ready to continue the business organizations, so the single partner can leave from the organization and others will they continue. Next, on certain contingencies. In some of the situations also, the partnership organization will come to an end. What are the situations mean? So on the expiry of a specified period in case of partnership for a fixed term. In this agreement, if they are mentioned the fixed period and the fixed period is over, so automatically the organization will come to an end. Next, on the completion of a particular adventure for which it has been formed in the case of particular partnership. So in this particular partnership, so the decided adventure is come to an end or it is over, so that time also the partnership will come to an end. Next, on the death of any partner or some of the partners. Suppose in this partnership organizations, any one of the partner who has the active partner, after death of the active partner, if sometime all the other partners not able to continue the organizations, right? So in this time, other partners they have decided to dissolve the organizations. Next, on the retirement of a partner. On the retirement of the partner also, this partnership organizations will come to an end. Next, on the insolvency of a partner. In this insolvency of a partner may have take many things. So lunacy or mental affected, or in any of the case, if any of the persons are not able to continue the organizations, it will come to an end. And not only that, the dissolutions through court also will be happen. The court also will be taken some of the action to dissolve the organization. In whichever situations the court can dissolve the organizations mean. When a partner becomes insane means as a lunacy. Okay, if any of the partner becomes a lunacy or in any of the insolvency situations, the court can take the action by the way of providing the deriving the complaint from the third parties as a customer. Next, permanent incapacity of any partner. If any of the partners are became as a permanent incapacities mean so the persons are unable to take some of the decisions and unable to make the investment and unable to providing the incentives to other partners. Okay, in this case also the court will take the actions. Next, misconduct of any partner. If any of the partners are doing any fraudulent activities, any of the misconduct is there, so the court will be dissolve the organization. Next, the breach of agreement which makes the business impracticable. Okay, suppose if the court or the government come to know the business organization is going to some of the impracticable, so the court will take the action by this way, so it will be dissolved. Next, continued loss. If the partnership organizations is facing continuous loss, so it will be unable to providing the good or effective services to the public. Okay, so in this time, so the court will take the action and it will be dissolved. Next, when the court find that it is just and equitable to dissolve the firm. Suppose in any of the case, the court is decided this organization is not equitable, not the reasonable, not the valuable mean, so it will take the action to dissolve the organization. Okay, so by the agreement or the mutual consent, so the court also will be take the action. Okay students, the chapter 5 is over. So now we will go to the 6th chapter. So the joint stock company. The joint stock company also one of the types of business organizations. Okay, first we have studied the sole trading proprietorship or sole trading business organization. Next, Hindu undivided family. Okay, next partnership organizations. Okay, this is the joint stock company. So normally we will use the company, limited company and limited company. So this is called as a joint stock company. A joint stock company is a distinct type of business organizations evolved to overcome the limitations of sole trade and partnership concerns. So we have many topics from the sole trading business and the partnership organizations also. Okay, by having these all the drawbacks from the two types of organizations, some of the peculiarity characters was there to creating the joint stock company. So the advancement in science and technology and the impact of industrial revolution have all the necessitated a large amount of capital investment and highly sophisticated managerial skill for running a large scale industry. If any of the persons want to conduct, or suppose the government also want to conduct the large scale industries, it needs the high technology and the impact of industrial revolutions and the high capital investment. Okay, so by having this all the capacity, all the things only, so we can conduct, or the government can conduct the large scale industries. Okay, then how can we conduct the joint stock companies? Mean by the single persons cannot able to make the all investment. Okay, so by thinking of this making the investment only formed the joint stock company. And not only that, the partnership with the limitations of its capital and managerial ability and with the added risk of unlimited liability has been found unsuitable for running a large scale industry in modern times. Okay, so in this modern world, even the partnership organizations only cannot make the more capital and the different type of the skilled persons. Okay, therefore only the joint stock company form of organization came into existence. So a company is an artificial person created by law having a separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seat. Okay, so the joint stock company is considered as a artificial person. Artificial persons mean, so in this joint stock company no single persons will doing as a owner. Okay, so whatever we have doing to improve the company, so on the name of the company only we have to do all these things. Okay, so only we can consider the joint stock company is a artificial persons. Okay, so this artificial person and the joint stock company is also created by the separate law, and it has the separate entity with a perpetual succession and with a common seal. So we must consider the common seal is one of the character of joint stock company. Okay, in this joint stock company, what are the characteristics are there? This joint stock company has some of the best or peculiar characteristics. First one is separate legal entity. So under incorporation or the corporation of a company becomes a separate legal entity as compared to its members. Okay, so when we are comparing to their members, the company only will have the separate entity. In the separate entity, no persons can able to as a ownership. So the company is distinct and different from its members. Okay, so if we consider the company, so their members are very different from this company. So it has its own seal and its own name. Its assets and liabilities are separate and distinct from those of its members. So the members are not considered as a company. So some of the name of company with a common seal only we can consider it is a joint stock companies. Otherwise, a single person or a single family or a single partnership will not considered as a company. It is capable of owning property, incurring debt and borrowing money, employing people, having a bank account, entering into a contract and suing and being sued separately. So the company, the name, so on the name of the company only, so we can have many rights. So the joint stock company having the capable of owning property in the name of the company only, and it will be able to incurring the debt from the government or the commercial banks, and it has able to employing the people and borrowing the money and having a bank account. Normally we are having the bank account in our own name, so like that the company can able to having the bank account in the name of the company itself. In short, it is considered as an artificial persons created by law. The joint stock company is a company, but it is considered as a artificial persons by the law. By the law, the company became as a artificial persons. We can just think as. Okay. Next, limited liability. So the liability of the members of the company is limited to contribution to the assets of the company up to the face value of shares held by him. So all the members are having some of the rights and the limited liabilities. On which form, on in which basis the members has the limited liabilities mean? On the basis of the face value of the shares held by a single person, he has some of the limited liability. Okay, so for example, if any of the persons are having the 10 shares or 100 shares, so on the basis of the share value, one person will become as a liability. A member is liable to pay only the uncalled money due on shares held by him. Normally, we are going to buying the shares, and at the same time we have to pay the amount for bought the shares. If you are not pay the money, how much amount we are not paying, on the value of that not paid amount only we will have the liability. If the assets of the company are not sufficient to pay liabilities, the personal properties of the shareholders are not held responsible. Okay, so we are the members of or the shareholder of one of the joint stock company, and in the joint stock company is going to face the loss, or if any of the loss is arised, so the members will not have the any responsible to pay the money. Okay, so how much amount of the share is held by the single persons, on the basis of holding the amount of share only, every shareholders will become as a limited liability. Next, perpetual succession. A company does not cease to exist unless it is specifically wound up or the task for which it was formed has been completed. Suppose if the company come to dissolve, so the next entity or the next right of conducting the organization is held by their members or some of the other persons by the amount of holding shares. So the membership of a company may keep on changing from time to time, but that does not affect the life of the company. So the membership means the board of directors and the managing director and the members and some of the shareholders also will change from time to time on the basis of selling and buying the shares, but it will not affect the life of the company. The companies always will have the separate entity and will have the artificial rights. So a company is created by law and it can be wind up only through the legal process. So in this partnership organization, we have studied if any of the members want to dissolve the organization, it is very easy to dissolve. But in these joint stock companies, it is not possible like so, because the joint stock company is created by the law, right? So if any of the companies want to wind up, so it has more legal activities or the legal process. So after completing all the legal process, or if all the process, all the things are having as a right only, it will come to wind up. Otherwise, it will never come to a wind up without any proper reasoning. Next is separate property. A company is a distinct legal entity. A member cannot claim to be owner of the company's property during the existence of the company. Okay, so in these partnership organizations, even all the partners have the rights to borrow the money or make the dealing with other parties or having the properties. In this joint stock company, not like so. The joint stock company, whatever we have doing, everything will be happen on the name of the bank itself. If the the company name itself only, with on the name of the company only, can have the rights to borrow the money and have the properties. Okay, so the members cannot claim to be owner of the company's persons. So in the name of the company only, the authority persons will have the rights to having the properties. Next, transferability of shares. The shares in a company are freely transferable. When a member transfers his shares to another person, the transferee steps into the shoes of the transferor and acquires all the right of the transferor is respect of those shares. If any of the persons want to sharing their shares, already he has, it is easy to changing to the other persons without any process, without taking any of the legal activities or the rules and regulations. It is very easy. So normally we can change the things from one hands to another hands, so like that. So we can easily transfer their shares from one person to another one of the persons. So there are restrictions in the transferability of shares in case of private companies. In any of the private companies, if they decided or if they mentioned in their agreement about the restrictions on the transferability of shares, so it will be possible. Otherwise, in this joint stock company, there is no need to take the legal process to transferring the shares from one hands to another one of the hands. Next, common seal. A common seal is one of the important character of the joint stock company. A company is an artificial person and does not have a physical presence. Okay, so it is the artificial persons. Now if we want to call the companies, the Airtel, Jio and Podis and the Tata, so we will get the mind of the seal only. Okay, we will never about the board of the directors and the company owners. Okay, for example, if you want to talk about the Reliance or the Tata company, so we must bring our remain in our mind, so on the common seal only, right? So thus it acts through its board of directors for carrying out its activities and entering into a various agreement. Okay, so whatever agreement is going to conduct in the business organizations. Okay, so the common seal of the company is very important. Even if any persons, if no persons are having the rights to put the signature, but the common seal only is enough to have the rights. So common seal is the official signature of the company. Official signature means, so even if there is no signature of the secretary or any of the authority persons, the company seal only is enough. The company seal is considered as a signature of the company. So the name of the company must be engraved on the common seal. Okay, in the common seal, so the company name must be mentioned and the sum of the initial may be mentioned. So any document not bearing the seal of the company may not be accepted as the authentic and may not have any legal force. Okay, so if you want to purchase any of the shares, the common seal of the company must be printed in the shares. And if you want to borrow the money or if you want to have the property and the name of the company, so the common seal is very much important. Next, capacity to sue and being sued. So a company can sue or be sued in its own name as distinct from the members. Okay, so the third parties also can have the rights to make the complaint on the name of the company, and the company also will have the rights to make the sue on the third parties or the member itself. Okay, student, it's enough I think. So in this area if you have any doubt, please ask me, I will tell you. And for completing all these points is not, time is not enough. So thank you.